Hey guys, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch. Today I have a few cards to go over, as well as we're going to take a look through goods from the past and see how prices are doing. But first, somebody wanted to talk about Elder Entity Intis, sorry, skipped right to the end. And it has been moving up in price. It looks like both are around the same market price, which is crazy to me because the super rare is so much more cleaner. But they're going for around $9 and they're like disappearing off the market slowly. I guess one reason in my mind would probably be somebody's playing around with a branded Dogmatica Shaddoll build. And when I say Shaddoll, I don't mean like a full Shaddoll deck. I just mean you're literally playing Shaddoll, Schism, Wenda, and App Cologne. That's like pretty much all you would really be playing. And then they're playing just the Nadir package with Ecclesia and stuff like that, so that you can send the app clone, so you can add your Schism to hand. That way you can lock your opponent into only special summoning once per turn, which is really good. But I suppose that probably is a pretty fun build and probably is decently successful. But yeah, if you wanted to play around with this card, I mean, it's probably not going to get reprinted for a long time. So you probably just need to have yours, to be honest. Although hopefully you were able to get the gold rares when they were like $1. And these were also like $1 or $2, like whenever the gold got reprinted. So it looks like, yeah, we're at $9.30 for the super rare, and I think the gold rare is right there with it. That is insane. If you picked up the gold rares when they were like 50 cents to $1, you made a lot of money. Next is Nes Fusion. Just wanted to kind of point this out because it probably won't get reprinted for a long time either, being that it got reprinted in the 2020 Megatens. But this is the best version. There is a super rare that's like $1.50 to $2. But this is my personal favorite version. Not that there's a lot to choose from. There's only 2 versions, but you can get these for like $3.70 to $5, just kind of depending on how much shipping you want to pay. Like you can get one for $3.50 here. And I suppose you could play multiples of these depending on what kind of deck you're playing. But most of the time, I think you're just going to be sending this off for Anaconda. But I think with the Crystal Beast stuff coming out, people are picking this up because it probably will be a fun deck to play. I don't think it'll be anything close to competitive. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this card head up towards like $8. Just on people or casuals wanting to play Crystal Beast. Is kind of a fan favorite. I have tried playing that deck. It's just like it does so much but does nothing at the same time. That's the crazy thing. Like there's a bunch of cool effects, but you just don't get anywhere with it, if that makes sense. Like you basically have 0 turn 1 play. Like everything you do on turn 1 just doesn't do anything. Like you put up 0 negates or not really any disruptions. Like it does a couple things on turn 2, especially if you're playing the Chaos Neos or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Let's see. Rainbow Neos, not Chaos Neos. Sorry, that's a completely different card. But yeah, it just seems like it does a lot to do nothing. And it has like so many search cards in that deck. It's like insane. They have like Crystal Bond. They have Rainbow Bridge, I think it is. And like Crystal Beacon and some like other cards. Like there's just unlimited search cards, but you're searching basically to do nothing. So while I really do like Sapphire Pegasus as a collector's card, I just don't know that I could ever play that deck because you just literally can't do anything. I don't know like what you would do to make that deck competitive, but it's just not very competitive. We'll have to see with the new cards what people come up with in theory crafting, but I don't know. I've tried to make the deck work online and just can't figure anything out that that would be like competitive. Next, so this is going to be a kind of a longer segment for this watch. I kind of wanted to go through OTS tournament packs, and we will glance over the ultimate rares, but what I mainly wanted to do is kind of take a look at super rares that might be underrated. because super rares do get bought out from time to time. I mean, so do the ultimate rares, but I think that would be kind of a cool thing to do that isn't done very often. And I'm going to sort it by best selling. You could do it by highest price, but I think I would kind of rather get an idea of what cards are getting bought a lot, the most, if that makes sense, because you can better anticipate what cards to buy before they skyrocket. But going through, Zeus at 64 is fine. This has a lower cap than you might think, though, because it does have a Starlight Rare. So let's say, I don't know what the Starlight's at, but let's say the Starlight's at 300. Well, that's also from the original set. So the Ultimate Rare reprint is going to be considered lower rarity, even though Ultimate Rare is my favorite rarity. So I see Zeus struggling to get above like the 130 mark, to be honest with you. Over time, it could maybe go to like 150 to 175 even, assuming it avoids the ban list. But I don't know. I think it's going to struggle with having that Starlight hanging above it. It's the same thing now. Like if you look at Solemn Strike, with the Ultimate Rare being close to 300, maybe a little more for like a near mint, whereas like you can get a near mint collector rare for like $45. So you would think that they would kind of come closer together, but they really don't. And so that's why, you might think that that's a great investment. Well, I think it is a great version to have for you to personally play. It's not going to skyrocket in price. Might double, but it's going to be a long time. Super Poly, still in that 155, 160 range. Fusion Destiny, I would also be very careful because this could end up getting limited to 1 or outright banned. You don't want to be holding the card at that time. You would rather wait until after it gets limited or banned to pick it up. So I would love to have them, but personally I'm waiting because I just don't want to throw money away. Swap Frogs also bought back out to like 250 and above, which is crazy. Ecclesia, very similar to Zeus. You're just going to have that same issue with having that Starlight above it. And besides that, it has a lot of high rarity printings. Like it's also got just the regular Prismatic Secret and then also the original Ultra Rare. But yeah, I think it's going to struggle to beat that 100 mark, to be honest with you. For a while. Some of these cards will age well, and they'll just kind of move up slowly over time. But as far as investing your money, I don't think that is the best investment to see a quicker return. But yeah, just keep that in mind. The Nibiru's are really cool. I always really like that they had a little misprint on them, but it's not really a misprint because all of them have it. So it's not like really special, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's the highest rarity version, and I doubt that they'll print it in anything higher. We might see it as a collector rare at some point, but it probably won't be for a while. Ghost Ogre, just ridiculous price, really. It's just bought out because it's really usable right now, but we'll probably see it at like 180 again, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things that fluctuates as it's seen play. Forbidden Droplet, I mean, honestly, my favorite OTS Ultimate Rare, but it's also like one of my favorite cards. Solemn Judgment is still undervalued. I think all the Solemn Ultimate Rares will be pretty expensive at a certain point. This one has just been steadily rising. It's gone from about $60, a while, like a long time ago. And it's just been slowly increasing. But I think, I don't know, once it gets to like the 140 or 150 mark, for whatever reason, this is for all Ultimate Rares, they kind of hit a launch pad. It's like if they struggle to beat 100, they just kind of, I don't know, they just don't do anything. They just kind of stay around that price or float up and down. But it's like, it seems like once they pass like the 125 to 150 mark, they just skyrocket. And I guess maybe that's because people are like, shit, I need to get this, or I'm going to be too late. That's probably what it is. Cyber Dragon Ultimate Rare. This seemed like a really good investment when it came out. But to be honest with you, I'm just really not a fan now. I think it's a super cool looking card and I would love to have one. But as far as like, would I invest my money into it? No, absolutely not. Because A, it has an original Ultimate Rare, which is always going to be the collector's version. But now we even have like a Ghost Rare coming out of the original art. It's just got too many high rarity cards, and collectors are going to have different preferences I just don't think this one's going to get enough attention to move up in price, to be honest with you. Might, move up a tad, but like I said, just because you won't lose money on it. Like there's just better places to put your money. Hair of the Orange Light. I mean, it's not at this price, to be honest with you. I would be more comfortable spending like 25 on this, to be honest, because the only deck it's really playable in is Drytrons. I'm sure there are some fairy decks, but like we haven't seen them topped, so it's not relevant. But Drytrons can't play this card anymore, so it's just not worth $65. It's honestly one of the coolest looking ultimate rares in the OTS packs. I just love the colors, but looks don't do it for me. Dean Gersu, on the other hand, is one of the best ultimate rares you can pick up out of these sets. Not the best looking one. It just doesn't have a lot of variation in colors, but one of the most powerful cards. And if we ever see like some banless releases for Orcust, like Harpor coming back to 1, this and Galatia will just skyrocket in price. And this is also by best selling, so this is what is selling. Token collector, I've like completely missed the train on this. This looks like it's gone up quite a bit, because I think this was lower, but at this price, I kind of would rather just get the ultra rares, to be honest. Contact C, still a really good investment at this 250 range. I sold one of my play sets for 6 a piece, which is pretty good. So I'll probably just go ahead and buy some more. If I can find somebody that has like a play set at the $3 mark or below. As far as $4 or $5, I really wouldn't do it yet, because this card's not going to see any play like soon. Yeah, see, it was like down to like under $1 really. This says $1.23, but I remember getting mine for under $1. I would just try to wait it out and see if you can get a better deal on them. I'm not going to sell my other play set, like no matter what. So I'm like safe. I still have the ones for me personally. So at this point, it's just an investment. So I'm just going to wait and see. If not, we can always just stick our money somewhere else. So it's not that big of a deal. Toon Kingdom is actually, so I pulled this up, so I'll actually just go to the page. So I was trying to get people to buy these at like 38. You can see here, it says 37. I think these were even low to like 34 or 35. This doesn't always reflect the right price, because you have these lower listings getting, evened out with some of the higher listings that are selling at the same time. So just because the market price is $38 at the low point does not mean that that's what the lower listings were going for. We have one for 45 here for near mint. And then the next near mint listing is 49 and then 50. So yeah, if you got them for like $35, you're already $15 ahead. But honestly, anything under 60, I would just continue to pick them up if you can. If you're looking to make an ultimate rare investment, even if you don't want to play this card, like I don't care to play it because I don't really want to play tunes. Just think any of the tune cards are just great investments, because Pegasus is like one of the all-time favorite characters. Moving on, Hulk at 107 is pretty good. One thing I do worry about this card is if it gets banned. But keep in mind, if it does get banned, it's still an OTS ultimate rare, so it's gonna, not really drop below the 50 or 60 mark. Most likely, I don't think so, at least being as popular as it is, and like people will just speculate that it'll come off at some point. Can maybe like hit a low point at like 35, but whereas ultra rares will go to like $1. But we have a readily available reprint ultra rare that's pre-selling for 15 right now on TCG Player. So if you just want to do that and not risk like this card getting banned, I would recommend doing that. Retaliating C at $3. I mean, we're getting a reprint, so wait until the set drops with the ultra rare, which is technically higher rarity, but I would still, recommend that you get the super rares instead. But yeah, they're down from a market price of 10 to 3, so they're down quite a bit. Shizuku's at 200 is insanity. If I had one, I would sell it, to be honest. Now, on the other hand, Galatea at 64 to 65 is really, really, really good. And if you haven't seen this ultimate rare, it's like definitely one of the best ones as far as like color and I guess texture, like on the card. I used to have 2 of these, but I sold them because they spiked up to like 100 like a year ago. But I'm looking to get mine back now. So yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on this card and probably gonna pick it up soonish. But yeah, like I said, Harpoor comes back. This card is easily $150. And to be honest with you, Orcust is pretty good now. Like you could definitely win quite a few matches with Orcust, depending on what variant you're playing, not pure. Mass Hero Dark Law at near 500, like there's no surprises there. Terraforming at 110 is to 120 is kind of crazy to me though. Like not that I don't think that it's worth it, but it is at 1 copy. But I guess that also makes it more worth it too at the same time, because like let's say if it was at 3 and it was like $80 a piece, well then people have just been $240 to play the ultimate rare, like if they want to keep rarities consistent. But at 110 and only at 1 copy, you're like, oh, I can just play 1 copy and it be max rarity for $100. So I can kind of see that outlook as well. Let's see, Link Spider at 70, I would avoid that, because to be honest with you, like when you're playing Link Spider, like let's say you get nibbed and you're just gonna link this off into, or the token off into this, it's gonna be on your board for like 1 second before you're linking it off into Hulk or like Verte Anaconda. So it just doesn't seem worth it to me for a card that's literally gonna be on the field for 1 second. I don't know. I just don't like that. Speedroid Terratod. I haven't seen this ulti in person, so I can't speak to how nice it looks. But I would imagine it looks pretty good. But $65 for a 1-of, I just don't think it's worth it. I do think that this will come back from the ban list at some point. I don't think it's like too overly powered. Yeah, it's a free Hulk, but like who cares really? To be honest with you, there's already a bunch of free Hulks. Swirl Slime is getting reprinted, so I would, it's down about $10, but I would still keep waiting if you want that. Pot of Desires, it's at the lowest that it's gonna be, so take that as you will. Utopia at $20, to be honest with you, like that's probably the best version to grab, to be honest. Over the collector rare for sure. Dupe Frog is $30, so it is bought out. Sell these if you have them. Don't hold on to these because it's Dupe Frog. Like, or you really think frogs are going to do anything? If you're playing the deck and it's your favorite deck of all time, I mean, yeah, you can keep them if you want to. That doesn't really matter. I understand like holding cards that if it's your favorite deck and you're just like, I want to play this deck for the rest of my life, or I at least want to have access to it. It is what it is. But if you wanted to make some money, you could sell it because that's $33 for what was $10 to $15 super rare. Ultimate Rare Cosmic Cyclone, still think that's one of the best ultis to grab because it's just one of the best ways to deal with spells and traps in the game. Firewall is honestly it's a really good looking ultimate rare, but the problem is you have the ghost rare and then like you have 2 secret rares, so you have quite a few versions of this card, which is kind of like the problem with some of these other ultimate rares. But if money aside, if you ask me which version I thought looked the best, I would say it's this ultimate rare, like without a doubt. That's just because I love ultimate rares a lot more than ghost rares. I think ghost rares are kind of just washed out a little bit. Not that I don't like them, I still do, but I don't know, I like the colors you get with and the detail, like in the textures you get with ultimate rares. Vishuda, it's $2, $2 to $3, but I would keep waiting, wait for that reprint to come out, and you could probably get this for like $1 or less. Draw and Lock at $230. I mean, like some of these other hand traps, they're just not going to go down. That's the thing. And right now, Droll's not even seeing play, so like this is the base price. Like, it's never going to be below this again. unless we have like an economic crisis and everybody just starts selling all of their high rarity cards. But that would be the only situation where we find this much cheaper than this. Twin Twisters also really good for the price. If you had to pick up Twin Twisters or Cosmic Cyclone, I would say Cosmic Cyclone all day. But if you wanted a good card to pick up, that's a good investment. I mean, $78 to $80 is really good for this card. Elemental Hero Stratos. I still think, in my opinion, this is the highest rarity version of this card, and it always will, no matter what they reprint it as. But these are still, you know, quite expensive, around 170 probably. I would still rather have this in the Starlight, and you can't tell me otherwise. And if you're a hero collector, I'd assume that you would agree. I'm trying not to skip around here. It's weird that when you come back and then like cards are all different orders, like are the cards just selling, and so it just keeps, I don't know. Babysaurus honestly would be good to pick up. I don't think dinosaurs are going to do anything for a while though, and this is still pretty new. I would let this drop down to like 50 cents honestly, and then pick it up. Crystal Wing, Synchro Dragon, just a no for me. Like just get the secret rare or the ghost rare, or you know, any other version. Like you don't need to get a super rare. I think there's even an ultra rare, but to be honest with you, if you were kind of deciding between an ultra and a super, and an OTS super specifically, I would probably say go with the OTS super. Super Poly, these are down to like $12, but it's still outrageous, really. Deep Sea Diva, I think that's honestly a really great pickup for the super rares here, because I do think that we'll probably see some water archetypes running around whenever we see that new water duels pack come out. I don't know like what exactly is going to be in there yet. I don't think anybody does, but I don't know. I think Deep Sea is always going to be a good water archetype or engine to play, and this super rare just looks really clean. And they spike up to $6 or $7 at times. Rare fish, we're getting ready to get an ultra rare, so hell no. But this had a market price of $22. Ronin Tonin, that just seems really high. But I mean, you saw where Dupe Frog went, so maybe this can go up as well. I don't know the ratios for that deck, so I can't even really speak to this card, but it looks like it's bought out with only 9 listings left. Hayate, honestly, super underrated though, because to me, like this is more important, or it's as important as Shizuku, maybe a little less, but it's a great looking ultimate rare. I used to have mine until I sold them, but if Shizuku's at, you know, above 200, this could easily hit 100. So just make sure you have one of these if you're trying to make an investment right now. Super, I would stay away from any of these super rare Tinny Spheres. I'm just gonna like kind of put that so we don't have to keep talking about it every time we come to one. We're getting ultra rare reprints of all of these. I still probably will want the supers instead of the ultra rares because they're OTS supers. So I'm just gonna wait for the reprint and then grab all of these super cheap. But yeah, just stay away from these for now. Colossus, I mean, if you just want to play the ban list lottery, then go ahead. I don't like these Regekis, to be honest with you. Dashers, I would say no, because you have the secret rares. So it just doesn't make sense to pick up this. Black Metal Dragon, I would sell these, to be honest with you. Levianeers, if you can get these for like 45, that would be great, because these are just always going to hold some value. Instant Fusion is also one of my favorite ultimate rares. Let's see what this is going for. I used to have one of these, but I did sell it when it spiked up to like 250. And I got this card for $60. But now it's 124, going up to 133. I don't think 124 is too bad, but it is a one of. But like the foiling on this looks really, really good if you can't tell here in the picture. Kind of sad that I don't still have this card, but it was worth getting the money for it. Book of Moon also really highly undervalued. Not a lot of listings. So they're going for 77. This is the lowest they've been at in a while. This card did spike to like 145 at one point when it was seeing a lot more play. It's just not seeing play right now, but it is still a great card. Same with Abyss Dweller, just super undervalued. There's a lot of ultimate rares that are really undervalued. Rafflesia, not as much so, but it's still a great card. Bahamut Shark, $3 is not bad because this was 8 not long ago. You could probably do some shenanigans with this card now that we have like instant fusion. So that basically means like as far as your main deck, you only need to get to one level 4 water monster, and you can get into your the level 2 toad monster. I can't remember what it's called, the Xyz monster. Darker Requiem for $15. Also think that's amazing. I have 2 of those. Scapegoat, it's come back down quite a bit. I mean, it's just a classic card. Great for a GOAT format. Machine Duplication, I think is a great super rare to have. Great super rare. Let's see what these are going for. About $4. I think that's pretty decent, to be honest with you. But no one really has like a play set. I wouldn't want to sit and order singles. I would want to just get a play set if I was going to go for it. Oh, by the way, these common shade brigadines are like $3 if you want to offload some. I used to have a lot of those because I played on a lot of tournaments during OTS 14. So I made some pretty decent cash on those. Armed Dragon also for $18 is not bad. But to be honest with you, if you can get a Euro version, I would go for that because the foiling on the Armed Dragons look a lot better for Euro, and that's usually the case across the board for Euro OTS ultimate rares. But yeah, Force Tricks, I would try to get the secret rare. I would maybe stay away from the super rare, but if you just wanted a version, I mean, OTS super rares are never bad to have. Any Shadal cards, absolutely. Here's the thing about these tokens, these Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, they're good for now, but if we ever see Rorodon or Hulk banned, like they're going to be useless and they're going to come down in price. Kinda at 31, like this is a one of in Sky Strikers, and that's if you're playing pure Sky Strikers. You're better off to spend 15 more and just get the Hayate. Harpours, absolutely, because if these come back, they're going to be ridiculously expensive. Same with Orcus Nightmare. Like I would have they have pretty much everything in Orcus reprinted as as a super rare or an ultimate rare in OTS. So just great versions of the card to have. Primal Being token, also good super rare to have. Punishment, I would just get the Prismatic Secret rare. I do have both, but when I got the Punishment, well, I pulled them in packs anyways, but it was like $10 at the time. Scrap Raptor, great super rare to pick up. One thing to be careful of, not go crazy on this card, is it's going to get reprinted in the Mega 10. So if it gets like a Prismatic Secret, this is not going to be worth anything. Zodiac, honestly, great ultimate rare to have if you can get these for like $30 or less. Just because it's Zodiac, it's gonna, it's a piece of history, really, of the game. You can get these for $30. Yeah, that's really, really good. And that card's always going to be legal. Quing Longs aren't bad. I don't know what this got reprinted as, but I'm pretty sure it got reprinted as a rare. So I think this is the highest rarity. So yeah, if you want your virtual world stuff, that's really not bad either. Messengelato is a sleeper card. Like I feel like this could easily hit $10 to $15 in the future. Because it's Madolche 1 and 2, it's hard to get being in the OTS pack. I have 1 copy of this that I pulled. I'm going to be holding that for a while. Trying to think if there's anything else that I see that looks good. Super rare tokens in general, I'd say, are always great to have. Generators, they're not really heavily played, but it is a decent deck. But for $1, I mean, you don't have much to lose there. Decode Talker, highly underrated as an ultimate rare. It's like the first link we got in the game. Yeah, for $22, that's really, really good. I'm not going to spend like too much time going through every card because there's going to be a lot, but I'll try to get through quite a few. Fossil Dig is really good as a super rare as well. I think it did get reprinted as an ultra rare in Brothers of Legend, but this card was like $10 to $20 for a long time. Just kind of fluctuating. And I think honestly, I would rather just have the super rares. Overload Fusion is an amazing one to get. Cyber Dragons are always just going to be a fan favorite. The Disciples of the True Draco, that gets bought out from time to time. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. I think it's like played as a one-up in the deck. I could be wrong because I wasn't around during that time. Well, I was around as a person, but not as a player. Personal spoofing, I would not be surprised to see these continue to go higher. Morphing Jar now, that's an amazing card to get. It's a really cheap, amazing card for goats, and just a classic card in general. I think you'll see steady growth in that card for sure. Scrap Gollum, also a really good one to get for $1. This card's insane when you're playing like Scrap Orcust. Heatas are also probably not too bad to get, to be honest with you. Just Charmers in general are going to be great to have, I think, long run. That just a lot of people love them. And some people just can't afford to get, the Starlight Rares, but they might want to have a nice holo version of some of these cards. And OTS supers are just always going to be worth more than, like a super rare print, like in a side set, or not a side set, but a core booster set. Utopia the Lightning, I think, is a little undervalued as well, but it probably won't be spiking in price anytime soon. Expedition, I wouldn't be surprised if that does weird things either, because apparently people like Galaxy stuff. I don't know why. It's just really not one of my favorite archetypes, but people do like them for sure. I just wouldn't pick up Galaxy stuff personally, just because I like to pick up stuff that, like, at least if I can't sell it, I enjoy it. So I don't know. It's just not interesting to me. Parallel Exceed, like, you're better off just getting the secret rares. Orcust, like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Just like anything Orcust you see in OTS packs, just grab it. You don't really need to ask questions. It's not too much here. Orbos, I would make sure you have. King of the Skull Servants, also really, really good. This card was like really, really expensive before this reprint. I'm gonna go over one more page so we don't start getting too boring here, because I'm basically just pointing at cards to pick out. It's not really that special. But a Pointer of the Red Lotus kind of saw its time, but doesn't mean that it can't see play in the future. And it can be a decent way to like get rid of cards like Dark Ruler that you just really don't want in your opponent's hand. So probably a good card to have. And it's super old, like the original printing. Land Dragoons, like, you can just get the super rares for so cheap, and the ultimate rares, like, you would just you'd be better off going that route. Well, the ultimate rares aren't cheap, but they're relatively cheap right now. I have my Rams as well. I just really like Zodiac as a deck, and so I will always have my copies. Secret Village of the Spellcasters, like, there's only 19 listings left, and honestly, this card is busted. Like, especially if we're playing something like Altergeist. I would just make sure you have those. That's just a super important card to have. Cyberstein, stay away from, get the secret rares. Vanity's Fiend, stay the hell away from this card, because you just get the original print ultimate rare for like around the same price. Anti-Spell, not too bad. Especially since there's not like a higher rarity version that's not like around the same price. Like, all of the higher rarity versions are extremely expensive. There is an ultra rare, I think maybe 2 ultra rares, but they're easy to get. I would rather just get the super rare. Paleozoic stuff is also nice. Brilliant Fusion is just too expensive right now for a ban card, but if you want to play the lottery there with whether it will come off the ban list, that's fine as well. I'm going to cut this off, this search through OTS off right here. I think I went through quite a bit, so we'll just move on. I wanted to highlight the Charmer Starlight Rares because a couple of people have been asking me about Dark, and I think it's very highly undervalued where it's at. It's, in my opinion, the best Charmer for sure, like as far as playability goes. But one thing to note with the Charmers, it's kind of more about collecting than it is anything else. And so yeah, the top 3 ones that are like all over, $500 or $600. This one's just sold out completely, it looks like, but they're like definitely waifus. So that's kind of the reason they're so expensive. But it doesn't really matter with Dark. It's just so good, and it's gonna see play for a long time. It'll match. It might not match Win, but it'll match Lena in price, like no doubt in my mind. Lena says market price 365, but that's not true as far as what's listed right now. The lowest is $600. So yeah, if you have Darks and you're debating on selling it because it has gone up since release, I just, I would urge you not to do that. Not yet. If you wanted a Charmer that is also a good investment, I don't know where it went, but it's the Oz Starlight Rare. It's like 140, so it's the cheapest one, and yet it's probably the least favorite. But it does come up, especially when you have like Tri Brigade running around and stuff like that. It can be a useful card, but you're much better off playing Dark. But as far as collection wise, people do need to get this to complete their Charmer Starlight collection. So it's still going to see, some demand. So that would be a decent card to get. Ghosts from the Past. We have Heatsol leading the pack here at 44. To be honest with you, like I said in the last time I covered these are still all going to go down quite a bit. Like, look, these have 10, 8 to 10 listings. There's no competition right now. It's only pre-sellers. I wouldn't be surprised if you get Decode for 20 to 25. Aliber, the fifth, like the 10 to 20 range, somewhere in there. It just kind of depends. It really depends on how many people want to list them versus hold on to them. Halk's at 15. Like, it seems good, and if you would just want to get it, that's fine. I think 15 is totally fine. But if you wanted to know what the bottom out price is, probably $8 or $9. Ryza, I can't imagine this card being more than $2 or $3, just because it's a one of in one deck. So there's going to be a lot of these out there, and not that many buyers. Yeah, from a quick look through, I'm not going to just cover every one because it's going to be the same rule of thumb. There's nothing right now that I would say is a good investment at these prices. I think everything's just going to continue to go down. There's no reason for these to go up. But there are a lot of good cards in here to keep your eye on. So, starting on release, on the release day, there probably will be some good deals. But just right now, there aren't. A lot of these cards are dollars that shouldn't be. Like Dagaras, you might think like, oh yeah, this should be $10, but with how many of these are going to be in circulation, it probably will only be like $1.50 to $3. So that's just me being realistic. So yeah, but yeah, I would, when we get close to release, I would make sure that you're checking in on this periodically. Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, I mean, not a lot of people are going to want that card. There's going to be way more supply than there is demand. So it's just not going to be anywhere near the $20 mark. And then the last card I wanted to go over is Illusion of Chaos. We're sitting at 40 or under. I mean, really for light plays, you can get them for 33. Near mint for 35. I think it's a great time to pick these up. They're cheap. Not a lot of people are looking at them. And Magician Souls will probably get reprinted this summer in Legendary Duelist Season 3, because if they don't reprint it there, that set will honestly have zero value whatsoever. That's the only money card that they're going to be reprinting for the most part. I mean, there's going to be some other $10 to $15 cards that they reprint, but as soon as they reprint them, they're not going to be that high in demand, at least enough for people to want to buy the set. So I can't imagine a situation where they don't reprint Magician Souls. So in that case, this card will go up a lot if Magician Souls is like available for like $15 to $20 or below. But that's everything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys this weekend. Thanks to everybody who came out and watched my video yesterday. We are continuing to rise in subscribers. We're at 115 now, which is crazy. It seems like kind of once we hit like the 50 mark, things kind of went really quick. Started getting a lot of subscribers. So I really appreciate everybody that continues to watch the videos. And just let me know if there's any cards you want to go over. And I'll do my best to remember. I am pretty busy. So sometimes, if I say that I'll cover something and miss it, I'm really sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I just super busy. So, but I will do my best to accommodate any requests. But thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.